super little. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We started the ketogenic diet plus intermittent fasting for officially 7 days now. I'd been documenting a little bit of it on my Insta stories and I got a lot of questions. So we're gonna kind of just talk about why we chose the keto diet, why we chose intermittent fasting, what our goals were, and kind of we're gonna document what it felt like for the first week, and then we'll check in every week for 30 days. I'll talk about my goals because I think if you watch my main channel or if you've been following me for some time, you know that I gained a ton of weight the last 2 years. I am healthiest at around 120 in pounds. I'm typically a size 26 or 27 or a size 4. My skinniest, I was like a 0. That wasn't necessarily healthy. I just have always been healthiest with muscle at 120. I've gained over 20 pounds in the last 2 years. I did start losing some of it doing the BBG workout program. I did 16 weeks of it and I've worked out since that. I didn't see as much results as I felt like I should have considering how hard I was working. I've tried tons of workouts. I work out 5 to 6 days a week and it just wasn't coming off. Like the fat wasn't coming off and my muscle tone wasn't where it should have been for how hard I was working. And I think it really had to do a lot with my diet. Even though we thought we were eating very clean, I think we needed to do something for me to kickstart the weight loss. What were your goals?
I know I'm very in tune with my body from growing up doing athletics at a very high level all throughout when I was young, and then also now doing jiu-jitsu. I'm really in touch with how I should feel, how I don't feel. I don't have as much energy as I should have. My goal was to feel better internally in my body. As I started to get back into lifting weights and things, we met. I actually weighed just over 200 pounds. But,
really?
Yeah, but I worked out twice a day. I worked out once in the morning, and then once in the evening lifting heavy weights. I
don't like that on you.
Yeah, but that's...
I think that's too much. But I like you leaner.
I had gotten leaner through the years just because I had stopped lifting such heavy weights and I had gotten more into cardio. I just didn't feel good though. I didn't feel like I thought I should feel. When Serena and I talked about it was possible that she was, you know, not just putting onto this weight, but holding this weight.
Hormonal, you thought I was I was a hormonally imbalanced.
I was planning on getting there. Potential reasons why she was not just putting on weight, but she was holding on to weight, because I saw her doing such physical activities like the BBG and really putting a lot of work in the gym. It didn't make sense to me why certain, you know, parts of her body that she felt uncomfortable with weren't getting to a place that she wanted it to. I started to ask around professional fighters or nutritionists, people in that world. The one thing I came across more often than not was there's no magic pill, there's no magic diet, there's nothing that's universal that works for everyone. Everyone's body is different. We tried a lot of different things. Maybe there was a chemical imbalance in there. Her energy level had dropped.
I was really moody.
Maybe a testosterone imbalance. Maybe let's look into foods and supplements that boosted testosterone, because testosterone is a natural way for your body to burn fat. 15 through 21, you could eat a bag of Oreos and just not gain an ounce. Your testosterone is higher in those moments of life than it is now in your 30s and 40s and on up. The testing to see where you're at, everything, I thought, okay, so let's try food first, and then we can maybe look into that. So all the diets that I started to look at, and I started to look into different ways to correct what maybe was an imbalance in both of our systems. Started to look into intermittent fasting and ketogenic diets. Intermittent fasting is, for us, you know, we try to have our last meal no later than 9 p.m. in the evening time, and then we don't eat anything again until 1 o'clock the next day. If you go back and you look at the way humans, species, are designed, we were hunter-gatherers. A lot of times we didn't eat, you know, 3 square meals a day. But going back and looking how our bodies are designed to work, ketogenic and intermittent fasting made sense.
Let's explain what intermittent fasting is. It's a huge trend right now. Beside it being a trend, it's been around in cultures and religious beliefs for centuries. So it's not something new. Before it was a trend, before now, I knew people 5-6 years ago that were doing it, and I kind of was just like, wow, that sounds really bad, because I had this idea that you had to keep eating so your metabolism doesn't stop working. I always had this fear that if I stopped eating or didn't eat enough, I would start gaining weight when I did eat, because my body would want to hold everything on. That's kind of a very archaic way of thinking. That can happen, but you would have to essentially starve yourself for a very long time for that to actually take into effect, where your body would start holding on to everything. Reality, the science has obviously improved and there's more that we learn about, your body needs time to digest and take a break.
I encourage you guys to look it up, like go to Google. The thing about the age we live in now is that information is so readily available, and if you don't think that, you know, what you're getting from, you know, advice you're getting from people around you, from doctors, from friends, if it doesn't sound right, doesn't sit right, go look it up and cross-reference. Don't do confirmation bias. I knew I saw that, so there's ...
Looking for a wrong answer,
you'll find it.
Looking for the scariness of, or the bad things of intermittent fasting, you'll find it. If you're looking for the good, you'll find it. So you have to look for both.
Yeah. And
then make an educated decision on what you want to do for your body.
Back to intermittent fasting.
Basically, you fast for a certain amount of hours, ideally anywhere between 12 to 16 hours. We easily started doing 12 hours. For me, I actually enjoy not eating first thing in the morning, especially if I have my bulletproof coffee. It's almost hard for me to start eating right away after fasting. I don't really have an issue with it. And before we officially started, which we started on Monday of this week, we actually accidentally started doing it a week before because of travel. While in Arizona, like Chris was like, you've lost so much weight in Arizona, like you just look thinner. I'm like, I think it's because I'm literally eating on someone else's schedule. I was there for an event and to learn, and so my meal times were very specific, and the food they were feeding us was very healthy on top of that. There were a lot of carbs. I chose not to eat them just because I didn't like them. It was almost like I started a version of keto and I started a version of intermittent fasting without meaning to. Once we saw how quickly my body changed just in the 3 days I was there, we had already been doing research. Mainly Chris had been doing research. I watched documentaries, but those aren't the greatest. Those are just like, they're also very biased points of view.
Well, they're meant for entertainment value.
And I think there are biased points of views when someone goes in making the film.
Sure. To get those things funded, you have to go to the people who want you to, you know, confirm their point of view.
What is the ketogenic diet?
Ketogenic diet is training your body to burn fat as a fuel source as opposed to sugar. Here's the tricky thing too, when I say sugar, like I was having this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday talking about cutting sugar out, and he's like, oh, I don't eat that much, I'm not a candy, you know, I don't eat candy, I'm not really, but to tell me like, oh no, I try to eat really healthy. I said, well, what'd you eat this morning? Oh, well, I had you know, a protein bar in the morning and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, you know, when you get to the house, pull your protein bars out and look at the amount of sugars and carbohydrates in those protein bars, because that's what I'm talking about. You don't necessarily have to eat sugar like candy or candy bars and cotton candy.
Because I didn't really. I have dessert a couple times a week, like ice cream, or like we'd get a cake and split it, like a slice of cake. I'm not really a sugar person. I'm definitely a fried foods girl. Chips, French fries, that's like my guilty pleasure. And I thought I was eating really well. I also eat a ton of rice.
Right now, we as an American diet have a heavy sugar, heavy carbohydrate based diet. All that gets broken down into sugar. The point being, sugar's bad. Sugar's really bad for you. It causes inflammation, does really bad things to your body. So I thought, what could we lose by trying to cut out as much sugar as we can on a daily basis and trying to burn fat as opposed to sugar and carbs as a fuel source? Because again, what is carbohydrates? Like on a molecular level, it's carbon and it's water. In my process of thinking maybe Serena was retaining water, holding on to water,
I just felt really bloated.
That we took that away, maybe her body could start to not hold on to that water.
I did it on Monday officially, so it's 7 days.
7 days.
Can I tell them what my parameters are for keto? Because I think a lot of you guys have messaged me and you've given me tips. Some were great and some I'm like, well, that's not in what I'm trying to do, because I'm doing an extreme version. Decide what amount of carbs you're gonna allow yourself. I'm for 30 days doing the extreme version for fat loss. After the 30 days, I will reevaluate how much carbs I will allow myself to have. Currently, the average female American woman eats over 250 grams of carbohydrates a day. I'm probably closer, before this diet, closer to 400 grams, possibly more because I'm Asian, so I had a higher carbohydrate diet. And I had 2 to 3 coffees a day, which had a lot of carbs in it because of the way I was taking it. Even though I was doing almond milk, there's carbohydrates in almond milk, there's carbohydrates in vanilla flavoring. I decided I was going to keep my carbohydrates at 20 grams a day. That's 5% of my diet. Incredibly hard to do. I literally am counting grams. That doesn't include my fiber from carbohydrates. I have a product that I'm eating and let's say it's 18 grams of carbs. 10 of those grams are fiber, and subtract the 10 from the 18, so it's really 8 grams of carbohydrates I'm adding to my diet. That sounds really complicated. It kind of is, but it's not, and I'm constantly tracking everything. It is not easy. It is not like something I can just kind of willy-nilly do. Literally, I'm looking at every ingredient, every nutrition information, and I'm kind of like obsessive with it because I have to be while I get used to it. So that is my basis for a ketogenic diet for the first 30 days.
There's an app called MyFitnessPal, and it's pretty easy to use.
There's carbohydrates in almost everything. So when you say cutting out sugars and carbs, it's really hard because my mayonnaise had it, even though it was a vegan mayonnaise. My almond milk had it. My sugar-free almond milk had it. Like, there is carbs in everything. I couldn't have agave or honey, which was essentially my sweetener, even though it's natural and healthier. It was still spiking my insulin a little bit. It just becomes really complicated if you're going to do this like, to kind of kickstart everything. Our experiences, going back to the first few days, it wasn't the not eating for a long period of time that was hard for me. It was, I wanted carbs.
The first 3 days, day 1 and 2 were okay. I freely admit that I am a carb junkie. I like cake, I like baked goods. It doesn't have to be sweet. Bread, I just like anything baked. Day 3, I was in a complete fog. My eyes were glazed over.
So moody.
I was super moody, which is really not my personality. So you know, like if I'm moody, something, I don't feel well.
It didn't help that you got hit in the head by a cabinet the second day.
If you follow along with me or Serene online, you know the 12-pound cabinet door fell off of all of the wall here at the house and cracked me in the head twice and then slid down my neck. So that doesn't help.
On the second day,
yeah,
he was making our breakfast and the dog just ran outside.
Yeah, helpful. So the third day, I was super glazed over. It showed me how addicted to carbs I was, because all I could think about the entire day was a cupcake. Literally, the only thing I could think about was a cupcake. I wanted a cupcake so bad.
You were so moody, you were angry, like you're foggy.
I've heard stories, I've read stories. Anyone that is trying to do this diet, they all have the same symptoms, and they say, you know, after a while it goes away. So I was willing to see how long that lasted to get on the other end of it.
We also said 30 days. So if you just say 30 days, and like I've done detoxes and stuff before, and I'm just like, I just have to get through this time period. And usually by the time you get through that time period, you're like, oh, it's not so bad. I didn't really get the keto flu.
Yeah, that was the other thing too. I think when people say, oh, you're gonna get the keto flu, I think that's a really bad mischaracterization, because unless there's something worse to come, you know, we all know what the flu feels like. It's just a really bad 1 or 2 days of cravings and low energy, and I even tried to work out the second day, which didn't go great. I was still able to like get through it.
Some people could have flu symptoms though, because we eat pretty, like even before all this, we eat pretty clean. Like I'm just imagining someone who eats like more on the go. They could potentially have flu-like symptoms.
Everybody's body's gonna react differently, that's the thing. The one thing you just have to mentally tell yourself and just be tough about is like, this too shall pass. Once you come out the other side of that, you really do feel a difference in your relationship with your body. Food tastes amazing right now.
I bought blackberries because they're low in carbohydrates. I can have like 5 a day. I know that sounds so like minimal. I just wanted something sweet, and I know I can have 100% cacao, which I bought, and it tastes like shit. I ate a bite and I was like, I don't even want chocolate anymore, if that's what chocolate tastes like. I had berries and I ate 1 berry, 1 blackberry. I put it in my mouth and I was like, this is the best tasting piece of fruit I've ever had. And it was like tart and sweet and tart, and I don't even like blackberries. Before this, I didn't like blackberries because to me my taste buds tasted bitter. Food tastes
amazing. We had burger wrapped in salad and lettuce and everything because we needed the protein. Had a salad to go along with it, and it was the most basic salad, you know, you get at a restaurant, just a green leaf salad with balsamic. I don't even think it had cucumbers in it. It was literally just a basic salad. It tasted so good. Even
though we're fasting, I'm not hungry. Like, I know I'm supposed to eat, and yeah, I can kind of feel a little bit of hunger, but it's not like the kind of hunger I used to get where I'd get headaches, I'd get really angry, stomach would growl, and I would feel like I'm starving because the food I'm eating now is sustaining me longer. Actually harder for me to eat the amount of calories I told myself I needed to eat. While I'm trying to lose weight, I still need to make sure I'm eating enough calories and the right type of calories. It's actually really complicated, especially as a female, to try and make sure I hit all the targets. I am still taking supplements. I cannot take my gummy supplements currently because there's sugar in that, but I am taking the traditional types of supplements, the tablets and the capsules. So I am making sure I'm still getting like my fish oil, my probiotics, vitamin D, as well as my multivitamin. Chris doesn't really take a supplement. He's never really taken one. He keeps eating exactly what I eat, but he needs more calories than me. That's something that he still needs to figure out because I definitely don't think you're eating enough. Here are some of the negative side effects to being in keto. My breath smells. It does not matter how much I floss, brush my teeth, or oil pull. My breath freaking stinks. Dry mouth. But it's supposed to dissipate after a few weeks. I just kind of like sit away from people except for Chris because he doesn't care. His breath smells too.
Yeah, I was doing a photo shoot yesterday and I made sure I went up to everyone and went, how are you doing? Really bad. The biggest challenge I have is in the evening time from after we eat at 9, moving into like 10, 11 when I'm editing or sitting at the computer doing work. My natural tendency based on, you know, years of doing it is to snack. It's to have something as I edit. You know, get something to snack on, get something to snack on. I go down, I have a glass of water and literally within 10 minutes it's gone, it's passed.
That's our hardest. I have the tendency at night to sit in front of the TV and eat. It's my way of de-stressing. It's not healthy. Like it's okay if I want to just zone out in front of the TV, but it's not okay to also have like a bag of chips.
We never really did too much of, but I think everyone is guilty of making food a reward or a comfort.
No, I did. The last 2 years, I definitely like ate.
You did
myself.
for years of comfort, yeah. Do it as a reward, I think. You have to be really aware of that stuff. Had a great day at work and you close the deal or whatever. Let's go celebrate with, you know, ice cream or what have you. Developing a really bad relationship with food. The
benefits though are definitely outweighing the struggles and the negative effects. I don't really get headaches anymore. I used to get headaches all the time. Oil pulling has definitely helped with that, but I don't oil pull every single day. I do like 2-3 times a week now. You said I'm not as moody.
Not at all.
I definitely noticed this first week I've shut off earlier because I'm just tired. As your body is developing like burning fat versus sugar, body's not creating enough ketones just yet. So you'll have these moments of where you just feel really tired, but it's not the same as when you're on carbs and you feel tired.
I also feel like I'm more productive during the day because my brain is a little sharper. I'm just more aware of what I'm doing. I'm not zoned out as much.
Do you think I am?
I don't know, because...
Well, I kind of have ADD, legitimately.
I have felt we've been more productive in the last week.
I feel like I've been less productive because I just feel like I'm going to bed.
Yeah, but you got so much more done before you went to bed. You're more efficient with your time. Like, cause that's how I feel. I feel like I was more efficient with my time. That's getting more done.
I feel like I'm sleeping better because when I wake up, I'm not like tired. I work out one day this week. New lifestyle change was gonna be hard on me, so I didn't anticipate working out a ton. I go do an insane workout, which was boxing. Like, I remember being in the class and being like, my left arm is jelly. I'm gonna be in so much pain. I'm not gonna be able to move my arm tomorrow. Following day, I was slightly sore, and I told Chris, I'm like, hey, I'm not as sore as I thought I'd be, because I remember going to a Muay Thai class and not being able to move the next day. It's like, just wait till the 48-hour mark. And yesterday was the 48-hour mark, and I was like, oh, I could feel it in my back, but I wasn't as sore or in pain like I would have been. And that's like a good thing. That means my body's recovering faster. It used to be where if I hadn't done boxing or if I hadn't gone to a Muay Thai class, then I wouldn't be able to move for a week. The fact that I was like, yeah, I'm a little sore, but I can totally go work out if I needed to. So that's like a huge benefit. That class did wear me out though. That class, was that the day where I came back and like passed out? I went back to bed at like 10. Now for some numbers for me, I don't like sharing this too much because I don't want people to get the wrong impression. You have to lose weight in a healthy way. But I had barely been able to lose a pound with how intense I'd been working out, which we knew something was wrong. Like, there's no way I should be working out the way I was working out and only losing a pound.
If that.
Yeah, and struggling to lose a pound. Sometime I'd gain 3 pounds. Being on this diet for 7 days, I've lost 5 pounds. I was bordering almost at 150 pounds on some days. I was really like sitting at 145 on a good day. There were days when I was at 148, 147. I'm now at 141.5. 185. Still need to get down to 130 to be healthy and 120 to be at my optimal weight. I'm 5'4", I'm 34 years old. It was all water weight that I just wasn't letting go of. From here on out, I don't know that I would drop the weight as quickly, just in the way I feel, just in my energy levels, and just the fact that I can start to see my muscle definition, which clearly it was there, but there was like water weight making me feel chubby and just bloated. My clothes fit better. It's not like I've dropped size. My clothes aren't as tight. You can see the muscle definition that I had been working my butt off for. I think that was the most frustrating thing, was I wasn't seeing any definition. Or I'd have to like suck in to see the definition. There's still weight to be dropped, but I definitely feel like the first week for me was water weight that I was holding on to, that has shed. Whether or not I'm going to be able to drop it as quickly from here on out will be a whole different story, but definitely noticed a huge change in my water weight.
I think there's more water weight that you'll drop. I think you'll probably do another 3 to 5 pounds of water weight.
There is fluctuation. Like, I'm weighing myself first thing in the morning after fasting. Once I eat, I do gain a pound or 2. And at the end of the day, I'm my heaviest at 143. You've lost 3 pounds?
I actually lost 5 at this point.
Damn you!
Yeah, my goal wasn't even to lose weight per se. My goal was well, I had 2 goals. One was to shed some fat in areas that I wanted to be more lean in. Better as I was training jiu-jitsu. Like, that's always kind of my touchstone. It's my goal for everything is I don't want to get choked out or, you know, submitted in jiu-jitsu. So if I can get a little bit of an advantage based on how I feel. Another thing,
I did start this on my period, which is not something you should ever plan to do. I feel like my period always happens when we decide to do something. Period started the night before we started this officially. Typically, I have horrendous symptoms. Like, I've mentioned it on stories where I used to take 8 to 10 pills of Advil. I did switch over to CBD oil, which is helpful. I still did get cramping this time around, but not nearly as bad as I was getting. I typically am really, really bloated. I wasn't this time around. I typically was really lethargic. Like, considering I was lethargic because of the lack of carbs, I wasn't, like, compared to how I normally am on my period. I was moody a little bit, but not nearly as bad. The symptoms came and went, like, really fast.
They did. We had kind of been maneuvering our lifestyle towards something a little more natural for a while now. I mean, you started using the CBD for symptoms and things.
Someone was asking, if you take CBD oil, does it show up in a drug test?
I don't think so. Look, I'm not a doctor by any means, so this is something you'll have to do your research on yourself. However, from what I've read, I don't think it does. And again, it depends on how in-depth their test is, because when you're doing a drug test for a job or whatever, they're looking for THC, which is the psychoactive ingredient that causes you to get high, which CBD has it has very trace amounts, little trace amounts of THC. So if you're a fighter trying to test a USADA test, it's gonna show up. For the most part, I don't think places that test, you know, like for jobs and work and things like that, I don't think it's gonna show up. But, you know, don't take my word for it. The information is out there. Definitely look it up. Definitely, you know, do your own research.
I don't like getting high. I'm gonna be honest, I got high in college. Like, I got high in my early 20s. I don't like it. CBD oil, I don't feel any high whatsoever. It just helps with my cramps. And it helps with back pain. Like, I had thrown my back out and the patches were a miracle worker. I'm the type of person that does not like the feeling of getting high. I'm not promoting getting high. I'm not promoting any of those things. I'm promoting a natural alternative way than taking a bunch of over-the-counter painkillers or prescriptive painkillers. Again, if you're having major surgery and that is prescribed to you and you want it and need it, I have no problems with that. I just think our answer is a little too quick for prescriptives or over-the-counter medication. And after speaking to a pharmacist and them even warning me about how much I was taking, like, that's scary. That a pharmacist who is really educated is like, you shouldn't be taking that many. I have a history of liver problems in my family, so the less medication I can filter through my liver, the better, because when I do need that medication when I'm older or actually severely like sick or injured is when I want to use it. For like day-to-day management, I'm trying to do more natural things, and the way I take the CBD, it goes directly in my bloodstream. I'm sure it still gets through my liver, but it's not waiting to be digested and processed through my liver. It's going into my bloodstream because I take it under my tongue.
It's a natural occurring plant. It's a plant, so your body naturally knows what to do with it. So even if it gets processed through your liver knows what to do with it.
We also are digressing. This is a whole different topic.
So I wanted to say one more thing too that we both noticed. Our skin
Oh yeah.
So I'm super pale, as you can see, but I typically have kind of some rosy patches around my cheeks and whatnot. And even today I kind of do, but nothing like what it used to be. Like my skin evened out so much.
Yeah, you were really like inflamed, I feel like, now that I see what your skin should look like. My skin has like zero redness anymore, and I'm oily again. So I used to be oily, and you guys might think I'm crazy because oily skin people want dry skin or normal skin. Oily skin doesn't age as quickly. So I will live with having to blot my face or looking greasy compared to dryness. I was really panicking because I literally, the last 3 years, my skin completely shriveled up and dried where it like hurt, it was flaky, it was red, it was irritated real easily. My skin is greasy midday and I have to blot it, which makes me so happy because that's what my skin has, it's what I should have, and it's what my mom had, and it's what I had always growing up. And my mom had greasy skin all through her life, and that's why she had no freaking wrinkles even when she passed away. She had no wrinkles.
True story.
Her skin did start sagging, but she was 73 years old. Here's some questions we had. Do you experience the keto flu at all? I think we kind of answered that. I think Chris definitely had it more than I did.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even call it keto flu. I would call it cupcake flu.
Do you feel like you're getting enough vegetables on the keto diet? No. I think that's something we are definitely having to reevaluate this month.
We talked about this last night, and I think the reason we don't get enough or haven't been getting enough vegetables is because we're scared of them. But
I'm not scared of them.
No, what I mean is there's carbohydrates in vegetables. We've been focusing on fat and protein and avoiding carbohydrates as much as possible, where I think we need to be better balanced in getting the vegetables in there because the fiber would counteract the carbohydrates in the vegetables. Yeah, we have to
just have high fiber ones.
The question was meant to be phrased as, does the ketogenic diet prohibit you from eating enough vegetables? And I think that's what that question was meant to be. And the answer to that is absolutely not. It's up to you. There's no restriction on vegetables per se. You just have to figure out a way to eat them within the confines of the diet itself.
Let me correct you on that. You have to look at the vegetables high in fiber. First few days we were doing fine because we were using cauliflower rice, but then we ran out and I forgot to buy it because I was slightly hazy when I went to the grocery store, and I was trying not to buy the hot Cheetos that Trader Joe's now sells for $1.99. I hate you. Cauliflower rice has a lot of fiber, it's cauliflower, it's nutritious, and it replaces your rice. It tastes amazing the way Chris was making it, and when you can make that video, like a video on how to make the enchilada chicken / cauliflower rice. It was so good. That's my favorite thing he's made. First few days I would say no, because we were eating a lot of cauliflower and we were eating a lot of spinach. Ran out of both. I forgot to replenish it, so that is why we stopped doing it the rest of the week. I did have green beans and cucumbers yesterday at dinner. I was a little bit over on my carbs, but not by much. Yes and no. You just have to be an advocate and make sure you plan ahead and have it, because when it's in the fridge we make it, but we ran out. I don't really know anything about it, so is it a short-term diet or a lifestyle change? If it's a short-term diet, what are the certain time suggestions to adhere to? I've known people who have lived on it for years, and I've known people who just did it to kickstart and then they go back to like a normal set of carbs eating, but not as much as they used to eat. We're watching a sugar documentary and he was trying to hit 40 grams of carbs, and he was someone who didn't eat sugar, and he was like, how am I gonna hit 40 grams? Do I have to eat candy? He hit it within breakfast. I think if you were to try this, which we gave ourselves 30 days and then we were gonna reevaluate to see where we're gonna go from here. If you were to try it like as an extreme, I think 30 days is something that is very fair, because that gives your body time to adjust and get over some of the symptoms and cravings, and then it also changes your body. So 30 days is something where I would say, if you're gonna try anything, try it for 30 days. After that, I think you need to reevaluate whether or not it was right for you and where you wanna go from there. That's what we're doing. I have a friend who has done it for a long time and it helped her keep off her weight. Her name's Samantha, Make It Up with Samantha. So you can follow her on Instagram, you can follow her on her YouTube channel. She's currently touring on Rent. It's a very easy to maintain diet once you figure it out.
Yeah, once you get the hang of it. I also think 30 days gives you a tangible goal. Like, it's not like, oh, I have to now completely redo my lifestyle from scratch. I think...
Or like, I can never have cake and ice cream again.
Yeah, so do it 30 days, see how you feel, and, you know, reevaluate.
Why are you doing keto mainly? Do you want to burn fat or live a healthier lifestyle? Is it hard for your body to get used to? I think we answered all of that. Just to reiterate, for me, burn fat, lose the water weight, and like show the muscles I've actually built. The healthy lifestyle, I think that's always our goal together, is to live the healthiest lifestyle we can while still enjoying our life. It's about finding that balance for us, like where we're still gonna have cake after the 30 days, but maybe not every day, maybe not every week. For your body to get used to, I think we have really strong mind over matter.
That's exactly it. I think you just have to not allow yourself, you know, to give up. Because look, you're gonna have those cravings. You're gonna, like, your brain is, it's going through a withdrawal of something. It's screaming at you that you need this, you need it, but you don't.
Mine's not needed, it's more want, because I want ice cream and french fries.
I think it's unhealthy to say you don't feel the need, because I think a lot of people might be more addicted to sugar than they realize, and their brain is gonna scream at them. It's gonna say, you know, I need this, because it is a withdrawal symptom. Like green tea was a big thing for me that helped me get through, because I had
sugar-free.
Yeah, sugar-free. It literally is just green tea with no sugar added, nothing added, but it gives me a taste of something in my mouth when I'm used to having a snack or something late at night. So just a sip of iced green tea went a long way, and then the cravings went away.
The hint electrolyte tablet.
That too, those are really good. Make sure you're getting enough electrolytes.
Yeah, that's a big one. I try to drink at least one of those a day. And drink tons of water. Hi, Serene, do you recommend keto for someone that's dealing with depression and anxiety issues? Do you think it helps in improving your health, helping you to improve mental health? Thank you. Look,
I never wanted to go into advice on someone's mental health, but I do believe in food playing a big part in how you feel overall, and that includes your mental health. When you feel better, when your body is processing the things that it was meant to eat naturally, I do think it has a positive effect on your brain and how you feel emotionally. That's not for me to decide. That's something between you and your physician.
Because I have a lot of mental health issues, I think you have to find a good therapist, not just like a doctor, because sometimes my doctors that look at my body don't understand what's going on in my head. I think it's important to be healthy all around, because when I'm healthy on the like physical sense, I definitely am a lot more balanced mentally. I definitely have noticed I'm not as down on myself, and this could be potentially dangerous if you have a tendency to be obsessive, or if you have a tendency to have eating disorders. Yeah, me having something to focus on outside of creating problems for myself, because that's a problem I have. I create problems. Everything could be going well, and I want to create a problem because I can't have things go well. That helps me from not creating those problems mentally. I definitely have an inability to stay focused. Why I do better on my own than I am in a learning environment at school. I don't work well in a classroom situation, although that differs, because if I'm in a dance class or in a like physical class situation, I'm really good. Sitting down and like learning is really hard for me. I rather just learn on my own. I do notice that I'm a little bit more normal when on this diet this week. Like, I don't know how to explain how my brain works.
Well, I think everybody's brain is different is the key to that. The test is to try to understand best how your brain operates, and then once you have that understanding, you can kind of come up with your own ways of operating so that it functions well within how your brain works naturally. One of the key things to fight when you're down and everything is physical activity. Just go for a walk or a run.
Really hard though.
Yeah, I know.
When you're down, when you're in that depression, even though up here you should go for a walk or go hang out with a friend, it is the hardest thing to do in that moment. Get a habit when you're not down.
The lifestyle, like if you know that you're prone to feeling really down, start now, adjust your diet to be a little cleaner, and then start doing something every morning. I think it's incredibly important to, on those times where you're not feeling down, to develop some sort of habit, some sort of lifestyle where you do something physical. Maybe just join a gym and go run on the treadmill. Let those endorphins go.
I recommend joining a class because the instructors can be very motivational and helpful. I don't speak to anybody in class typically. Going to a class, even though it's the hardest thing to get to that class, find a class where you have to pre-sign up and then like you get charged 20 bucks if you cancel. That typically helps me go. And then
motivating factor. And
on Sundays, I sign up for my entire week. I look forward to seeing the instructors. I don't think they even know how much they've helped me when I'm severely down. Seeing them, and they always say hi to you because their job is to like make you feel welcomed, and they always like make sure they know your name, they call you by your name. Something about that really helps me. No matter how down I am for that hour, I feel better. Being surrounded by people, even though I'm not talking to them, it helps me. It might not help you, but it did help me, and that's something I would recommend. When I feel good physically, it helps me mentally. I think it does go hand in hand. Unfortunately, when you're already in that mental depression or dealing with some anxieties and depression, it is one of the hardest things to change is your physical stuff, like eating right and exercising. I've been there. I literally ate myself 20-30 pounds overweight, and he watched me do it. Like but like I
don't say it like that.
No. I mean, like, you try to be like nice and supportive, but at the end of the day, it's like he can't stop me because I'm my own person. When you love somebody, you don't want them to be unhappy, and if the only thing bringing them comfort is food, what are you supposed to do?
The husband, what do you say? Like, hey, those chips are gonna get you fat. Yeah, good luck with that.
Like, have you looked in the mirror? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, good luck. You don't want to say that because you're gonna add to the problem. So you're really, as a companion, you're stuck in a really weird place.
Be like, go get me chips and a liter of Coke. Like, I need it. It was literally the only thing giving me any solace or comfort was eating a bag of chips and drinking a liter of soda every night. I would eat ice cream, I would eat bread. You know, I did a huge amount of damage on my body the last 2 years because I was dealing with a lot of stress, anxiety, grief, and it's hard to break that cycle. Because when I was trying to be better, when I was trying to get healthy, I would binge eat because I'd be depressed.
I also think it helps too if there's somebody in your life that can keep you motivated, like, you know, just stop by and say, hey, let's go for a run, or let's go to yoga, just to kind of keep you accountable for, you know.
Yeah, I didn't really have any active friends at the time, or at this time, because where we moved, we're kind of like away from all our friends, which is fine because I love where we live and I see them when I can, but it's not like where it used to be where my friends would be like, hey, want to take a yoga class? Or hey, I'm going to this class, because then I feel like I have to go if I say I'm gonna be there. Like, if I say I'm gonna do something and someone's waiting for me, I'll be there. This video is gonna be really long, so let's just end it here. We'll check in next week.
Yes, this video is long, but I think it's really important to make it so that people don't think we went out and did the ketogenic diet and intermittent fasting because it's trendy. Like, I mean, if you watch her videos, you already know that, you know, she doesn't talk about anything without being incredibly well researched. Her entree into the beauty world wasn't, you know, to hold up a product and say, oh, this is awesome, go buy it. It was well thought out, it was well researched, and here's why I do it. So I think I feel
like you researched this more.
But that's just kind of how we live. Most of the things that we do, we don't do on a lark. We do them because we've researched them, we've thought them out. We
will check in every week for the next month about our progress. And I have taken photos. I need to take a photo today. I took a photo before we start on our first day, but I already looked really good compared to what I had been looking like.
I did the same thing. I took it when we got back from Arizona.
If you guys are interested, Chris has been doing all the cooking. If you want to see what we've been eating, you can do a what we eat in a day on keto diet. Let us know in the comments if that's what you want to see, or if you want actual recipes, we can film that for you as well. So just let us know what more you want to see about our journey on keto and intermittent fasting. Tons of YouTube videos, but again, I just think you guys need to do the research.
Make sure you look at the end of the papers where it says, you know, this project was made possible by funding from. Just be smart, use your head.
We're gonna list 2 of our favorite documentaries, The Magic Pill, that sugar movie. I have to preface, you will find what you're looking for or not looking for when doing your research. So if you go in with a biased opinion or a biased attitude, you will find that to support it. We did our best to look at both sides, and we made this decision based on our lifestyle, what we think we could or could not give up, what we thought would work best for us, and just who we are as people. Keto, you could eat cheese all freaking day and technically be on keto, but that's not healthy. Bacon all day, because technically bacon's keto, but it's not healthy. With everything, you can be healthy or not healthy with it. We found that keto is the easiest for us to be healthy within our lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on that post notification, and we will see you guys next week for this, but we will also do some food videos if you want, so let us know in the comments. Bye.